It's good to see you. I must go. I know I will go. Anyway, I'll go.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat!
He's an interesting guy, man, and, you know, he believes it, so. Kyrie, the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, whatever.
The earth is flat. That's news.
That's news. There we go.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently at war with the mainstream scientific community. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is planning his trip to the moon to start his new business selling fresh spring water. Why? According to space.com, there is water all across the surface of the moon. Apparently, atmosphere is overrated. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, you are not very good at the internet. For those of you listening to this on YouTube and you want to hear the show live as it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And if it is not February 27th, 2018, then this is not live and you're listening to a recording somewhere. So check it out live when you get a chance. Quote of the day from the Peanut Gallery: when one door closes, another door opens, but we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones which open for us. A little bit of redundancy there, but that is from Alexander Graham Bell. And if you're not old enough to know who that is, well, then you might be too young to be listening to this. Quick announcements. As you know, this Saturday, I am flying out to Colorado Springs. The meetup people out there are flying me out for a Flat Earth meetup down in the Springs on Sunday, this Sunday. So if anyone's out in the Colorado area and they want to check it out, please, by all means, stop by. The Canadian Flat Earth Conference should be announcing their formal details. It's going to happen in August in Ottawa. And I'll give you more information on that as I get it. I'm already in the process of trying to build out a promo for it, trying to come up with something fun. The Mark Sargent Flat Earth Challenge is in effect. This is my personal declaration of war from Flat Earth against mainstream science. I, Mark Sargent, hereby put forth a challenge to any university, foreign or domestic, to debate or discuss the Flat Earth reality. The short version is this: you fly me in, take care of my hotel, and I'll face down any scientific body you put against me. My only debate requirement is that you have someone with a master's degree in a physical science either participating in or supervising the event. Accept this challenge, you'll be treated with respect. If not, then you're just cowards hiding behind empty equations. Let's see. This is not going to be a subject matter expert night, but I'm going to rattle them off anyway. And you know what? While I'm rattling off the subject matter experts, I'm going to give you guys the phone numbers because we didn't do that during the first two segments of last week's show or the one before that. Last week's show, we did the United States Navy quartermaster, and before that, we did the Army Air Force. Army Air Traffic Controller. And next week, we are going to be doing an Air Force pilot. And hopefully after that, we'll get somebody from NASA. Well, I'm working on that one. I'm not going to give you any other details. Phone numbers to call in are 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Also 720-897-6111. Or if you're in the UK, 44.203.393.2871. And if you want to call in and just listen, you can call in to 641-793-7117. And let me make sure that the Peanut Gallery hasn't sent me anything interesting. 1 second. There's the Peanut Gallery. I've got too many things open on my screen. Yeah, 30-inch monitor. The only bad thing about it is there's too much stuff. You want to fill it up. Nope, everything's good on that side. Okay. And the subject matter experts we've had so far, and this is just to encourage anyone to come out and talk about it. We've had a United States Navy missile instructor, a United States Air Force navigator, a Marine Corps sniper instructor, a Navy submarine chief, an Army artillery radar operator, an Australian intelligence officer, an American flight instructor, an industrial engineer specializing in valves and seals, a career surveyor of 32 years, an international shipping expert, a corporate travel agent, an air traffic controller, a United States Army master gunner, an aviation and ground training combat expert, a USDA surveyor of 27 years, a 32nd degree Mason, an etheric science researcher, a commercial airline captain, a commercial airline co-pilot, an industrial vacuum expert, a merchant marine, a United States Army air traffic controller, and a U.S. Navy quartermaster. Wow. A lot of them so far. We're going to have one next week. And if anyone else wants to chime in, please contact me at msargent23@comcast.net. Or you can call any one of the phone numbers I just listed you. All right. You ready? Let's see. I'm intrigued because I have a couple calls I could pick up right now, but one of them literally, the caller name, and this takes a little doing, says troll, don't answer, out of North Carolina. Do I want to take that as my first call, or should I take the Canada one? You know what? The Canada one's long distance. Let's take that one first. Then we'll bounce back to North Carolina, and as other people come, we'll grab them. So North Carolina, you'll get your chance, although I'm pretty quick on the kill trigger. So we got Canada on the line. Looks like Calgary. What's going on out there? Don't be nervous. It's just you. Wait, and he hung up. And as I say, don't be nervous. I'm sorry. Hopefully he didn't. All right. If you're going to call, remember, if you're calling in just to listen on your phone, call 641-793-7117. All right. You know what? We're picking up North Carolina. All right, North Carolina, are you a troll or are you pretending to be a troll?
Not at all, Mark. When I looked into the issue of the flat Earth, you were one of the first things I saw.
Oh, that's good. I guess.
And I thought it was great. Yeah.
Cool.
My name's Philip Stallings. I was in that documentary film with Rob Skiba that Robbie Davidson did.
Oh, neat.
The Global Lie.
Right on. Cool.
I've been ostracized by the flat Earth community in a lot of different ways. I just wanted to give an update. I dropped Facebook altogether.
Okay.
There was a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Okay. Do you mind me asking, because, I try to keep my finger on the pulse of just about everything out there, but I do miss some circles. Do you want to get into a little bit what happened? Because this is the first time you and I have talked, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. I had talked to Rob not the phone.
Yeah.
But Rob and I kind of parted ways regarding another issue.
Uh-huh.
But you have to understand something, Mark.
Yeah.
And I think you would understand. Once you get to this level,
yeah,
I think all sorts of things start to happen.
I agree.
And they're not always good. They're really not always good things. There's stress, there's lies, there's drama, there's exaggeration.
Yeah.
But there's also hits out. Mark, I had people sending me death threats.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I don't doubt it.
You know, nobody has really heard my side of the story. I really kind of pulled out. A lot of people have taken to YouTube and said a lot of things. But
sure.
I honestly, if I've done anything to offend anyone, I'm sorry about it. But I am a student of the Bible.
Sure.
First.
Sure.
And I believe Jesus Christ is Lord.
Yeah.
The fact that I came to this conclusion was remarkable. But I don't point back to an agenda.
Okay.
Any more than maybe you do.
Right.
This is from research. This is hard research. But I can just tell you that after this, I reached this conclusion, everything got weird.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about in my own life, my interactions with people. And I don't want to take away from the fact I'm a sinner.
Sure.
And I've made mistakes.
Right.
But
everybody does, and there is a huge Christian community in the flat Earth groups. There has been since day one. I could not even finish the clues without the Christian community coming at me and said, "Look, you've got to address the issue of God, and you've got to work this in." And I said, "You know what? You're right. I was dancing around it for too long." So whatever you did, look, I've seen. Let me come at you from a different angle. I've had people come at me, really start attacking, then back off and apologize, then come right back and attack me again a month or two later, then apologize. Flat Earth has a certain side effect with some people of changing their, what you were just saying, changing their lives and everyone around them, because it's the ultimate open-minded test. And which is why I try to remind people, got to be careful. I know you want to be enthusiastic and you want to spread the word about everything that you know and love, but you got to know your audience, because and if you're willing to deal with the blowback from it, that's great. But there's going to be blowback, and don't make any mistake. I mean, I still can't face down a lot of the comments that are in my comments section because they're just so hateful. I try to make it to where I can sleep at night. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too much, but what else do you want to kind of rattle off to me? Because I even though I'd love to spend a half hour with you on the phone, it probably shouldn't be done on the air. Because it's you and me, and I don't know.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Well,
but,
I mean. Well, wait, you're on a radio show right now.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, I'm literally the black sheep calling in. I mean, I didn't only pull out, I was shoved out. For a number of different reasons. I'm calling into you.
Yeah.
And so I'm literally open. If you want to ask me something publicly on the air, I'll address it right now. But I just want to say that through all of this, this guy calls me out of nowhere. Well, he doesn't call me. He goes to my website, phillipstallings.com, and he says, I'm a pilot for 40 years.
Yeah.
And he writes me this lengthy email, and he's like, I'd like for us to talk. Mark, I get on the phone with this guy. I start talking to him for about an hour. I'm like, I got to record this. And I recorded it, uploaded it on YouTube. He just basically, you were naming off all the different, fields.
Yep.
This guy calls me. I mean, I'm not seeking these people. And the same thing is true for you. These people reach out to us.
Right.
Which I find is extraordinary. But so I recorded the phone call. He's a pilot of over 40 years, Mark. And we literally cover everything from the gyroscope to, I start asking questions about, the compass, how you fly the plane in regards to directions. And we were basically on the phone for 2 hours. Wow. And it's just extraordinary. How this is resonating in regards to professional fields.
Right. I agree.
So,
I agree.
And the fact that he would want to reach out to someone like me,
I'd love to say that it was unusual, but every once in a while I'll see somebody doing something that's mainstream, or they're talking to somebody. I mean, I'd like to think I have my finger on a lot of different things, but why not? Why would I, if he reached out to you, great, fantastic. Who knows? Maybe he just saw your thing and said, maybe I'll take a chance with this guy. Why not? Anyway, I hate to
it's not. No. It's not. Let me just say this, Mark. It's not about me. It's not about you. And what I'm saying is, this movement has basically put me outside the house. I really don't care. I'm not in this for money. Right. I haven't gotten money.
Yeah.
But at least I was bold enough to call in. Now, if you want to, you said you couldn't talk to me live on the air. If you have any issues with me, you can certainly...
No. It's not that. It's just that it's a call-in show, and normally I limit people to a certain amount of time. And it sounds like you could probably talk for some length. And if you want to talk at some length, that's great. Love to do it. Probably should do it off air. Not because it's on air. It's just because I got to give time to other people. That's all. Because it's multiple call-in show.
Well, I mean,
but I'll talk to you off air. Sure. Be happy to. Just shoot me an email with.
Look,
go ahead.
I think it was a few months ago. Intended to call into your show. Yeah. Got Zachary Hubbard. And
that's funny.
That got weird quick.
I can imagine. Yeah, because
it's fine.
He's not a fan of Flat Earth.
No, he thinks Rob Skiba and you are shills working for the government.
Right. Yeah.
I really hate. Listen, I thought I was in a bad spot. I mean, he made me feel pretty good when he got done roasting,
right,
you and Rob. But whatever. Mark, that's fine. I'll totally reach out to you later. I had intended to call months ago, and I just want the Flat Earth community to know I'm still alive. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone, and I'm still fighting the good fight for what I believe is true.
Just for the record, before I let you go, forgive me here because we've been talking for a while. What was your channel name? Did you have a channel on YouTube?
No, I still have a channel on YouTube. It's Philip Stallings. I debated Dr. Kent Hovind
Okay.
Regarding the flat Earth.
Okay.
And but my website is philipstallings.com, and all of that's on there.
I will will again reach out to me when we're off the air, and I will, you and I will talk a bit, and we'll see what, because I'm kind of curious of what happened. I don't like to see anybody that's ostracized for any particular reason, but it happens from time to time, mostly because of misunderstanding.
You said your email. I don't remember it, but I'll just
email,
listen back to
all my contact info is literally in the description box of every single video I make now. I mean, my email, my phone number, my home address, everything. It is, the police could find me in 2 seconds if they wanted to. So just grab something from there and we'll talk. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
You have a good night.
Good.
Okay?
And hey, Mark, same to you.
Okay.
You can reach out to me through my website. There's a contact button. But thanks for talking to me, and I appreciate your work.
Well then, let's get the phone numbers again, because the people that were on hold dropped off because they probably thought we weren't going to stop talking. They probably thought I had a subject matter expert on, but that's fine. Phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998 or 720-897-6111. And heck, because I'm not going to be doing an email thing this Sunday because I'm going to be at a meetup, hopefully with Bob from Globebusters. Let's read email real quick while we wait for the call thing to come in. This one's called Hello from Montana. Hello, Mark. My name is Jamie. I became exposed to the flat Earth about 3 months ago by some friends who were already woke. Like most, I was shocked and appalled and ridiculed their obvious folly, although not to their faces, of course. They sent me some links, which I begrudgingly watched because I knew they'd ask if I'd watched them, and I wanted to be able to say I did. And nothing within me thought I'd watch and read these links and come around to the belief the Earth was flat. But I did, because it's obvious. And I'm already a non-vaccinating, non-fluoridating, homeschooling mother, so I have that in my favor. Non-sheephood, if you will. Anyway, I'm just watching your Flat Earth Clues on YouTube, and since you left your email, I decided to ask you a question. Here goes. They say the circumference of the Earth at the equator is about 25,000 miles. Is that a known fact? Well, that's what they say anyway. Also, it seems like if the circumference at the equator was found and measured, then the circumference at 45 degrees north and south latitude would also be able to be found. I can't find this information anywhere. The only thing I have found is William Carpenter's book, 100 Proofs That the Earth is Not a Globe. Number 16 says, and I'll paraphrase, that some navigators have found that the 45 degrees south latitude is twice the distance, circumference, as the north 45 degree latitude. Do you know anything about this? This seems like a hard and fast proof that could conceivably be measured and proven. But I am having the hardest time finding anything on it. Also, just if you have time, I want to hear some of your thoughts on the moon. The moon, God bless her, is only increasing in mystery to me day by day. The stars I pretty much get. The sun mostly makes at least some sense on the flat Earth model. The moon, I don't understand at all. The only thing I know is that it was created by God to keep track of the lunar months and that it rules over the night. But the phases, its light, its composition, I'm both in love with the moon and aggravated at her elusiveness. Any light you have to shed or links to send would be amazing. Thanks for much for all you're doing, Jamie. To answer Jamie, I would look at two things. One, I would look at the eclipse shadows. That's really fascinating because remember, the eclipse shadow was, even though the moon is 2,000 miles wide, the blackout zone is only 70 miles wide, which really falls into our model more than anything because we don't believe it's 2,000 miles wide. And you're saying, and your mainstream science will come back and say, well, yeah, but it acts like a convex lens and it focuses the shadow. I go, really? Because it doesn't do that when the Earth gets in front of the moon. Because remember, the Earth is supposedly only 8,000 miles wide. And if that was the case, it would only cast a 250 mile wide shadow on a 2,000 mile wide object. And yet the Earth's shadow covers the moon very, very easily for a blood moon. So how does one work and not the other? It's a good question, huh? Let's pick up 336 area code. Wait. 336. Did I just take this one? Hang on one second. 336. Did I just talk to you?
Hello?
Hey, it's Mark from Strange World.
Hello, Mark. This is Mark from Greensboro, North Carolina. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
Oh, long time no hear. Welcome to 2018. I haven't listened to your show in quite a while, but this fella that just called in sort of perked up my ears because he said he was down here in North Carolina.
Oh.
Did you write down his website by any chance? I couldn't
no, but
understand
it's going to be in the recording of this, so it'll be on the TFR archives and it'll be on the YouTube video when I put it up. So no, I didn't write it down.
Well, I know that, but I already couldn't understand it. He said his name a couple times in the website a couple times, and I couldn't hear it live. So I don't think I'm.
Yeah, I'll probably have to listen to it a couple times myself to get the spelling down correctly, and maybe if Peanut Gallery caught it, and he'll send it to me. But it'll be out there. We'll get it eventually. Right. So.
I thought he said the name was Philip Stone, but that didn't work.
I thought it was Philip.
I was just curious.
Philip Stelling, maybe. I knew Stelling's a fairly common name. I knew Brian Stelling in high school. He's a couple of years ahead of me. Stelling.
Give that a shot.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What made you tune in tonight? Okay. Just
boredom.
At least you're honest. That's good.
No, I'm just kidding you. I've been keeping up with a lot of your videos, and I just decided to listen tonight. And that perked my ears, especially since he was talking to a airline pilot that had been flying for 40 years.
Yeah. And, we've had such a great. In fact, I've got an Air Force guy. As far as I know, everything will still be there. Air Force guy, and he's currently active duty, as far as I know, and he's going to be maybe talking next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, as I've mentioned to you in the past, I've got an aviation background. I flew airline and other things. And just very quickly, I was listening to a Honeywell video recently because Honeywell is the manufacturer of the gyroscopic platform for the for the airline gyros. I'm just going to keep it very simple.
Do you want to stay through Would you want to stay through the break because we got music going to be kicking in about 6 seconds? Do you want to stay?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, just hang on to the break. I'm gonna mute you while we're on break, so you can make as much noise you want, and then we'll come back. Okay?
Okay, good.
Hang on.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 4. It is a call-in show, and next week will be a subject matter expert, hopefully. I'm hoping to get Air Force next week. Phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Or the old phone number works fine, too. 720-897-6111. I just route it to 213. And I think it adds maybe another second onto the call. We had somebody on the line, and we're going to pick them up right now. Are you still there? Hello, North Carolina.
Here I am.
Hey, you know what I found for you?
Here I am.
During the break, Peanut Gallery found me the email address you were looking for, or the website. So it's Philip.
All right.
It's philipstallings.com. And that's not a normal, common name. So Philip, Philip, Stallings, STALLINGS.com. And his YouTube channel is of the same name, Philip Stallings. So,
All right.
little
Excellent.
biblical channel. It looks like the last thing he did was a month ago, called the Biblical Flat Earth series, Philip Stalling interviews, and he actually has a kind of a Air Force or a flight simulator thing on the thing. So there you go. Anyway, sorry, you were talking about the Honeywell gyro stabilizers.
You have a good memory, and I don't know that I'm going to enlighten you or anyone else by saying this, but I'm always looking for that just a little hint of how they're fooling us.
Right.
And by that I mean that we all know that airliners, well, we don't all know, but I know, and you probably know, that airliners do not fly around a sphere, because you can't fly upside down, and you inevitably would be upside down.
Right.
So the whole notion is out the window. But I found a video, and the Honeywell guy was doing a training video, teaching pilots about the systems.
Mm-hmm.
And he was explaining that this gyroscopic platform that's responsible for dozens of data points for your direction, your heading, your course, your distance, all sorts of things. This platform has to be taught that it's not upside down, and that just perked my ears. And in that, he said, if an airplane were to fly for 12 hours around the Earth,
mm-hmm.
the gyros would think that they're upside down. It's a very curious thing to say. And then he went on to say that we have to teach the gyros that they're not upside down. So we all know that the gyros would sense the pitch in the bank that would happen if you're flying around a globe, and
right.
you'd be upside down very quickly. A quarter of a way around the world, you'd be upside down.
Yeah.
So without too much delay here, this guy says that they have to teach the gyros not to be upside down, to think that they're right side up all the time. I just think that's a pile of bullshit, to be honest with you.
I agree.
They call it wander, and I think what they're doing is that they're probably the software engineers are rigging the things this way. They're writing the software to put these parameters in, but I think that somebody at the end of this process just sets everything to null, and they return zeros, and of course all this information that they're feeding into this thing just amounts to nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Did you ever hear the 777 pilot testimony that I read? Oh boy, at least a year ago. Did you ever catch that?
I did. I listened to that a couple of times.
Yeah. Where he was saying, look, when that thing broke, that he just flew as normal and wrote down what he was supposed to adjust and never did. And he gets to his destination. It's like, so that thing's busted. I didn't have to do anything. So what exactly is the gyro? What is adjusting itself on the gyro calculations? Yeah, it's fascinating.
Well, we all have to remember that there was a day back in the old 707 days, and before that airplanes flew all over the world, and we didn't have all of these fancy ring laser gyro platforms that would be fed thousands and thousands of bits of information per second. I mean, so aviation was happening long before all of this fancy equipment.
Look! Think of the all the military. People brought up to me several times. What about the World War II long-range bomber missions? What the heck were they using?
Right.
Air pressure.
Exactly.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a World War II movie ever mention anything about how adjusting the gyro? Oh, gyroscope's busted, Cap. We got to do something. It's like, what?
Right.
It's never ever come up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now here's a piece of information that I find fascinating, and is that Singapore Airlines is going to reinstate its 19-hour flight between Singapore and New York.
Mm.
And so they're going to do that in a Boeing 777, long-range 777.
Sure.
And it's an ER, I guess they call it. And so 19 hours covering a distance of 8,500 miles. You've just flown a quarter of the way around the Earth. And in that time, they're going to sit there perfectly flat and level.
Right. I think it's actually more than a quarter. I think that would be a third. A third, because if it's supposed that you remember, yeah. So if it's 25,000 miles, a third of that would be 8, or and change. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
which makes it even worse.
So it's
yeah.
Yeah, a third of the way around the planet, and you've done it perfectly level and flat.
Yeah.
I say, give me a break here.
I agree.
So.
Absolutely agree.
Anyhow. Thanks for the conversation.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for calling in. And don't be a stranger. See ya.
I won't. Bye-bye.
All right. Phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. And by the way, don't be nervous. I know it's easier said than done. The first time I ever called into a radio show, actually like the 5th time I ever called in a radio show, I was still nervous. You don't have to be nervous, just you and me. When is the last time you ever heard me yell at anyone on the air or berate them? I'm not Howard Stern, for God's sakes. I'm pretty nice to people. And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Plus, you remember, since the flat earth thing has overtaken my life, I live by the credo that I will never do anything malicious against anyone ever. So, and Peanut Gallery says, Elon Musk. Yeah, okay. I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk, but would I run him over in a crosswalk? Probably not. I'd want to. I really would. But I'd rather see him be publicly brought down rather than privately. If you throw him in a sack and put him in a van and bury him somewhere, who's going to know? That's the problem there. It's showmanship. That has something to do with it. But no, you guys don't feel nervous when you call in. It's just you and me talking about whatever. And because I'm into flat Earth, there is not a topic you can bring up that is going to throw me for a curveball. That's not good English. But you know what I'm getting at, right? I mean, yes, you can say that you knew a guy that swears that Bigfoot had Elvis's baby, or vice versa. But I may say, you know what? I'll give you a minute or two on that. Sure, well, why not? But anyway, the point is, when you call in, don't be nervous and don't hang up if I pick you up. Anyway, let's do an email, shall we? Real quick. This one's called The Throne of God Report and or Article. Mark, I love your YouTube stuff, and I heard one of an interview with a military guy who observed the radar near the North Pole. He also had a high IQ of over 190. He mentioned near the end of the interview that he wrote some papers that he called The Throne of God. If you could email that to me, that would be awesome. Thanks, Daryl. Yeah, if anyone wants that was from a previous interview. He was one of the subject matter experts. We'd be happy to send it to you. All you have to do is say The Throne of God, want the article, want the paper. Shoot it to me at msargent23@comcast.net, and I will email it to you. I think it's only like 6 megs. So thank you for that. Let's pick up Dallas, Texas. 214 area code. You're on with Strange World right now.
Oh, hi, Mark, Jan, and Dallas. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I was wondering a couple of things. I was wondering, have you heard about this mobile phone that they're going to have on the moon? A friend of mine told me.
Are you making this up? Okay, define having mobile phone on the moon. Like somebody actually with a mobile phone on the moon, or they're just going to shoot a mobile phone to the moon and then try to make a call?
Well, I'm not really sure. That's why I hated to call in, because a friend of mine read it on a Reuters story today. And I did not read the article myself.
Tell me that Elon Musk didn't make that headline. Please tell me it wasn't him.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Well, what's so tragic is they actually believe they were a roadster going around. Why wouldn't they believe you could get a cell phone?
You had to bring up the roadster, didn't you? You had to do it. Mm-hmm. All right, fine. The roadster, in fact, I'm thinking of doing this when I go down to Colorado Springs. I'm thinking of flashing the roadster picture, one of the many roadster, or the roadster video, put it on while I'm actually, some Peanut Gallery just sent me that article. It's actually in the NewYorkPost.com. I'm not going to open it right this second. The moon is about to get cell service. Oh, I'm going to get so irritated. All right, I'll read that during the break. But I'm going to flash the Elon Musk roadster thing. If I get a screen, I'm going to flash it up on the screen. I'm going to ask the audience, what's wrong with this picture, right? And the correct answer, I can tell you in advance, is going to be everything. Everything is wrong with this picture. There isn't a single thing about this image that makes sense at all. The only thing that makes sense to people is that it's on mainstream news, and since mainstream news would never lie. Yeah. So, yeah, the article, in fact, the Peanut Gallery is giving me the summary right now. They're putting cell service on the moon to broadcast back to the Earth. The companies are working with Berlin-based company PT scientists on their project with a launch scheduled in 2019. Oh, whatever. Okay, so this is just a future story from Cape Canaveral. Yeah. On a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Oh, I'm getting. I don't even get headaches.
On a rant for?
I should go on a rant. Well, okay, so this is part of SpaceX. So SpaceX which means Elon's going to be talking about this probably in the next 6 months, where he's going to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to wait. Why would you even do this?" As I'm reading this story, it's like, why would you try to set up cell phone service on the moon, even if you could? What's the point? So that you can use that cell phone service to talk to Elon's astronauts when they circle it? What? Thank you, by the way, for that. Okay, what's your other question? Because I'm about to freaking lose it. What else you got?
I know. I was so hoping that you would, and thanks to Mr. Peanut Gallery for looking that up. And I wanted to say that God bless Philip, who called in, especially with the Christians and so forth, that you could tell he was a bit uncomfortable about it, and I couldn't think of anyone better for him to visit with, and so it took a lot for him to do. And I remember with President Obama, I believe this was in 2015 around Christmas time, he was trying to solve the communication difficulties. So I just can't believe they think we're a bunch of dumbbells. And
right.
It's really bothering me, and has been for about 3 years now.
Yeah, the president can't get a good connection, but the ISS, school children can talk to the ISS all day long. Yep, and no lag, no problems, nothing ever gets dropped. Yeah, my new prediction is that SpaceX is going to be set up as the fall guy for when this thing all just goes to hell, because the NASA has dumped the space shuttle program, doesn't exist anymore. The Trump has said that he's going to just get rid of the ISS, which is weird since he just signed another $20 billion thing to NASA. I'm going, okay, if you have no shuttles and no ISS, what exactly is the $20 billion going towards? It's like you'd think you'd get a cutback in budget after that, because I really didn't want to see that article. But again, most people just look at articles like that with a grain of salt, because they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to shoot a thing up in 2019." We're beginning of 2018, and this is kind of reminds me of the story of the Google Lunar X Prize, where they were saying back in 2017, the beginning of 2017, that, the first person to shoot a probe to the moon and send back images will get $20 million. And then the end of 2017, getting close to the deadline. And then they said, oh yeah, we're going to kick the can down the road till the beginning of 2018. And then last month they said, yeah, we're going to cancel it permanently. So you can talk about putting cell phone service on the moon all you want. It kind of reminds me of colonizing Mars in 2030. No one's even going to remember this story in 6 weeks anyway. So, but thank you for bringing that up to me. It just, now I have to try to sleep later with that. Anything else I can do for you?
Oh no, that you've just done enough right there. Thank you for that rant.
I am happy for you. I am happy to do it.
Oh, thank you. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye. That was Jan from Dallas. She leaves me voicemails every once in a while. They're the best because she's got such a great Texas accent. All right, let's jump right back into it. Let's do Grand Rapids, Michigan. 616 area code. You're on live with Strange World right now. Hello. Oh, he hung up. Told you guys, don't get nervous. Remember, if you're trying to call in, I'll give you the number one more time. If you're trying to call in and just listen to the show, it's 641-793-7117. That's 641-793-7117. Then you can just listen. All right, let's pick up Massachusetts. 774 area code. You're on live with Strange World.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
I am doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm pretty good. My name's Cameron. I've been following you guys for a while now, and maybe 3 months or so, and it just completely blew my mind. But I have a few things I'd like to touch that I haven't heard anybody really talk about or really even consider.
Okay, so, it sounds like a challenge.
Into it.
All right.
And maybe it is, and maybe it's just a thought experiment, but it's something that I've thought about a lot, and I'm wondering why nobody's really talked about it. And that is, if this has been this huge conspiracy for however many years, do they not have a contingency plan for if the flat earth movement did happen at some point, and what might that contingency plan be?
I actually have thought about this and talked about this at not a lot in videos because it's kind of scary for some people, and that is you can go one of two ways. Yeah, of course you're going to have a contingency plan, and the reference I used was it's kind of like trying to hide cigarettes from your roommates. You can move it around in drawers and shelves and stuff like that for a while, but sooner or later they're gonna find it. It's just a matter of time. And in this case,
exactly, it was
pushing
60. Gonna happen.
Yeah, 60 years. It's a pretty good. You had to spend a lot of money, and you had to, have people sign disclosure agreements. But yeah, 60 years seems to be about right. And the contingency plan can go one of two ways. You got your happy ending, and you got your not so happy ending. And let's apply it to the Academy Awards because those are coming up. The happy endings of the popcorn movies, and those endings make a lot of money. And that would be, well, you can let NASA off the hook and say, well, the builders told us to do it, and you introduce another life form. You introduce the machine, basically, the enclosed.
You're simply going to try to preserve the balance of power in your favor. And if that is the case, then how would you go about doing that? Then you would probably try to at least control the movement to your own degree at some point.
Bingo.
And,
well, you don't even.
You
don't have to control the movement itself, but you do want to influence the media coverage of it. You do want to make sure remember they have their hands on all that is media. I should say,
absolutely. It's much deeper than that.
Yeah. So that's the happy ending. So you control it that way, make yourself look a little, let yourself off the hook. It's like, we were told to do it. We found something in this world. It's like, if we let the public know, there was a chance this whole thing would be destroyed. The biblical records were right, blah, blah, blah. But you can spin it in a certain way to where maybe the public would accept it. That's kind of the happy ending. The other side,
losing that.
The other side of it is you just create a giant war that supersedes any interest in this. Yeah, Flat Earth would be the greatest thing ever in the history of news stories, unless you had World War III or some sort of massive meltdown where civilization just starts crumbling, and then everyone's just fighting for this.
And I don't want to be negative about it, but it seems like that would be the easiest way for them to go. I mean, we've already seen them use completely incorrect ideas for us to invade the Middle East twice.
Right.
Numerous other places we've invaded for who knows what their actual goal was, because they've lied to us about it the whole time. It could be something completely different than we've been taught. So who's to say that we're not a species of our species isn't inherently nice and inherently altruistic,
right?
But because of their manipulation, we seem warlike, and that seems like the easiest way to go. I don't want to be negative. I don't want.
I know. I don't. Which is why I really haven't done a lot of videos on that, because the odds say that, and all the science fiction movies say that they would feed into our natural instinct, men, of creating war. We, out of all the things we do, we seem to got war. We got that one down. We seem to be really on the cutting edge, little play on words there, of war. So it wouldn't take much to do it. There was a There was a line from the Heath Ledger Batman, which still haunts me to this day, where he was talking about where he was asking Batman why he's trying so hard, because Batman's saying, well, people are basically good, and the Joker's laughing. He's going, when the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. And as much as I'd like to, say that he was wrong. So anyway, those are the two contingency plans. You could turn it in a way where the whole thing self-destructs, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think they're doing that because, and give me 30 seconds to explain this, because they're not stunting our side of things in the media. Meaning, so many people have flat Earth videos recommended to them on YouTube constantly. It's like, look up JFK, and then it's like recommended for you 5 flat Earth videos for no apparent reason. The search engines.
Yeah, it just popped up one day, and I checked it out.
There you go. When you type in the Earth is or Earth is into any search engine, the number one thing now that pops up is flat. These two things, the way I just described, that takes all of not even a day worth of coding to do. That's simple to get rid of. All you have to do is say, if you see Earth and flat in these combinations, do not recommend those videos to anyone. And but they're not stopping us along those roads. If they really wanted to have fun, they could do a mass sweep and say that flat Earth is now part of the conspiracy stuff, like crisis actors and hoax videos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and they'll just
go ultimate hard, the hard whatever direction you want to call it, and pushing people down and slandering them. That's not happening. I mean, you've got a ton of popular people like Kyrie Irving and people who are saying things, and not that he's a huge proponent because he's kind of backing down, but you got people saying stuff all over the world, and yeah, you're right, they're not smashing these people. In fact, they're even covering some of them fairly.
Yeah,
they're.
I mean, Shaquille O'Neal was not ridiculed. Geno Smith out of New York, he just came out yesterday. PewDiePie, the largest YouTube channel in YouTube, literally number one in the rankings with 61 million subscribers, made a video called "Proof that the Earth is Flat." Doesn't matter if he did his funny little things on it or not. He didn't crush it, and he could have in 2 seconds. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you're right. He didn't. In fact, and maybe he was mocking it to a degree, but yeah, he wasn't specifically pointing out things that would disprove it.
Yeah,
and that is a big deal.
Yeah, and when you've got that many subs, I mean, that's you can't put a price tag on that sort of marketing. Yeah, most of his, and I don't want to get off on a different rant there, but most of his demographics, those 61 million people, are really young. But that's the demographic we wanted anyway. It's like, great, you just put that idea in their head. Thanks, PewDiePie. We didn't have to pay you a dime to do that. So
those people are more aligned with questioning things than people who have already aged and already been set in their ways. It's harder for people of age to actually consider this to be a possibility. You're right. So yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. Regardless of what he says, it's a good thing.
Yeah. So anyway, so the point is they're not even the resistance we're getting from them is token. So I think, yeah, kind of circling back to your original thing, is they might be trying to bend flat Earth into a certain street, and I just don't know exactly what you would want when you got down that street, what you're going to do with it. But flat Earth seems to be, at the very least, it's opening up the minds. Maybe that's it, where it's opening minds up to so many different things that maybe once you're into flat Earth, people are willing to accept the other stuff. I don't know, like a giant golden spaceship coming down, whether it's real or not, opening it up and saying, oh yeah, by the way, United States, great, let's do a new world order. That's, raise the flag and be done. Hey, we got like 15 seconds. You got any shout outs before you go? Because we're going to break.
Not at all. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel pretty soon, but I'll call back in and I'll talk to you more about that. I just appreciate you taking my time, and I have more stuff to talk about later.
Okay. Happy to do it. You have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Later, bud.
Bye. And just like that, the music came, and we're going to break. Back in 3.
Hi everyone, it's Chris Gio here, founder of...
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Major Kong. Major Kong. Primary target the ICBM complex at Laputa. Switch all receiver circuits to CRM discriminators. What's cooking on the fretboard? Nothing. All right, tell you what you better do, old buddy. You better give Elmo and Charlie a flash, man. Bump everything up to condition ready and stand by the floor on your head. Major Kong. Major Kong. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Clear and plain and coming through fine.
What about
It's great to be fine.
What about Major What's happened? You see the string in my leg, Scar. What about Major Kong? I never told you. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. And we're doing a call-in show because the subject matter expert isn't coming till next week. That's going to be United States Air Force, hopefully. Cross my fingers. We got a couple calls. So let's grab New York. 845, start spreading the news. We're leaving today.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, you know what?
How are you, sir?
I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
Oh, man, I was so disappointed. I missed the Brooklyn meetup.
Oh, it's okay. You know, it was their first one, and I'm glad that New York finally came around. Remember, they're hard-nosed. They're hard asses out there. So it was good.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
glad.
We were still the first New York one. Sorry.
Oh, no.
You know how I am.
I do. Well, this one was in the city, though, so that's fun. Although they're more skeptical than other people.
That's true.
Or they got bigger problems.
That is true.
Flat Earth. What do I got to worry about flat Earth for? I got 99 problems with
I'm
flat
lucky
Earth.
I didn't get stabbed going to the bus.
Yeah.
That's right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
True. I mean, that's really why it hasn't really been embraced in the hardest city in the world. So anyway,
probably they're very skeptical.
Yeah, they are. So, by the way, let me give out the phone number real quick. Phone number to call in, guys, is 213-233-3998. That's 233. 213-233-3998, 213-233-3998, or 720-897-6111. The quote from Peanut Gallery for you, Mark from New York, is, if anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would have not have mentioned these alone. And that's from, I believe, from, oh boy, I never could pronounce this name well, Epictetus. Epic, and then Tetus. Epictetus, whatever. It doesn't roll off the tongue. If I had to create a world language, by the way, you know what?
No, not at all.
If I had to create a world language, I'd choose Spanish.
I think, isn't that the most spoken language on the planet?
I think it is. Well, or pretty close. I mean, yeah, you could say the Chinese, because of their numbers, but Spanish, it's easy to learn, and it's fast. That's the big thing, and that is it rolls off the
countries.
Yeah, but I mean, look at a generation. When you hear Spanish people speaking, I think they can actually get more words per minute out, like a fast typist, just because it's easiher to roll off the tongue. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You should try listening to my mother.
There you go.
Oh my God! I'm like, what? What'd you say?
Nice.
I mean, she's like, and then you hear an English word in there, car, shed. You're like, what?
Nice. I mean, French is beautiful to listen to, and German is just. I come from a strong German family. It's just too many things that end in hard consonants to where it's it's difficult. You cannot. I challenge anyone to speak really quickly in German. So anyway, what's on your mind?
Right.
Man? What's happening tonight?
Well, right now you just made me think of German women. I love them. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I don't even know what they say. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
German women are although I still don't consider them the strongest willed women. I think the strongest willed women I've ever met are in the Australian, New Zealand. Those women, they run the show. They wear the pants in the family. I have yet to. They are determined. You don't mess with them.
I thought you were going to say Eskimo.
Really, you had to bring up Eskimos. I hate them so much. My unwavering, seething hatred for the Eskimos is on par with how I feel for Elon Musk. So,
yeah, well, we can't forget NDT. He's still out there.
He's on the back burner as well. Oh, by the way, he is going to be on Joe Rogan's. Today's Tuesday. I think it's next week. So NDT is going to be on Joe Rogan.
He's going to do it. Wow.
Well, no, he's going to be on it, but Eric Dubay has nothing to do with it. I heard from a placed source that Eric knows nothing about this, and I know what happened. I know full well. You've seen it too many times, which is, you asked Neil months ago and you say, yeah, what do you think about a debate? Maybe you're drinking, maybe you're smoking, who knows? And Neil's like, yeah, we'll see, right? Neil has no intention of doing this. It's like, yeah, I'll see. I'm going to tell you sort of maybe so you can just get off my ass. And then when it comes closer to showtime, I'm just going to back out, and say it's not my thing. It's not my bag. And that's what happened. Because once they got Neil, Eric absolutely would have done it. But what I heard, Eric had no idea this was even, nobody contacted him. They had set this thing up blind. And that makes sense because you'd want to get Neil first because you didn't have to worry about Eric. Eric was always going to do it. Anyone.
Yeah, he would go. Right.
Yeah. Anyone in the community would have done it. So the point is that Neil's going to be on the show. Now the question is going to be, does Joe even bring it up? Does Joe even bring, well, we thought we were going to do it because then is this that uncomfortable moment or two where Neil's got to say, okay, it was Joe's idea to back out. It was Neil's deGrasse idea to back out. Or do they just throw Eric under the bus and say, well, no, Eric Dubay never got back to me. Must have been afraid of you. That sort of thing. And then it's, his word against his or the other guy. So.
Anyway. That makes sense.
Yeah, I know. So are you simulcasting?
Yeah, I got a.
Oh, you have a quote?
Yes, I am, sir.
You have a quote?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What is it?
All righty. A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Oof.
Wow.
Guess who said that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who said it?
Albert Einstein.
Really? The same guy that came up with that greeting card saying that gravity shouldn't be responsible for people falling in love? That guy?
I don't know the date, so I wonder if it was before he was co-opted into that whole scam.
Whether you believe that Einstein was everything that they say he was or not, he was by far the most quotable scientist of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He's extremely quotable. He had great sound bites. One of my favorite was when he was explaining. Okay, two quick Einstein things for you. One was when a reporter was giving him crap because he asked Einstein how many feet were in a mile, and Einstein said, I don't know. And the reporter was giving him crap about it, and he goes, why would I remember that when all I had to do was look it up? Yeah, he's like, don't memorize things that you can look up in a book. And the other thing was, and that's true, lots of people do it now. In fact, the internet that's really just shit up now. The other thing was he was trying to explain relativity to somebody, and he said, sitting on a park bench next to an attractive woman, an hour goes by in seemingly like a minute, but sit on a burner on a stove and turn it on, a minute will seem longer than an hour. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't get the broad sense of relativity there, I think it drove it home pretty well. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'll get off real quick. I just wanted to say I watched a movie today.
What'd you watch?
Daddy's Home 2. Don't laugh at me. Daddy's Home 2.
Why? Why?
Because I needed background noise, and I wanted something that was funny. So if I looked, then that kind of thing. So I just put it on.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it because
I get at?
Because I did that video on sequels and how everything is a sequel.
That's why it popped into my head. Yes.
Oh my God.
And I saw it in the list of movies on Cody, so I was like, how the hell would I play it? But what I was going to say was the one character. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Mel Gibson, the father of Marky Mark in the movie, is an astronaut. And it was killing me. It was killing me. I just wanted to jump into my phone every time he threw in a little thing about space and being an astronaut.
Yeah, in fact, it was weird. I was even, as I was watching it, because I'm a huge movie guy and I download them as fast as they come out. And I watched Murder on the Orient Express this afternoon.
I'm going to watch that next.
Before the show. It's a good show. All-star cast. Absolutely all-star cast. But as you're watching it, and you're old enough to remember, it's like, look, Murder on the Orient Express is a remake, of the one in the 70s.
Absolutely.
And then as I was looking up some. The what?
Hercule Poirot or something. I can't say his name.
Hercule. Yeah. Hercule. Instead of Hercules, it's Hercule. Whatever it is. Yeah, it's French. But it's a great all-star cast. I totally recommend it. But as I was looking up one of the cast members on IMDb, there's an ad on the outside for Pacific Rim 2. The sequel to Pacific Rim from 5 years ago, and I'm going, really? Because you want to make a sequel to that? Who's going to be in
the
that?
first one was such a piece of garbage. It was so crappy, the first one.
And so
I think this might be the only sequel ever that'll be better than the first.
And I'll leave you guys with this before I pick up the next call, which is the video that I made on the blurring effect. That
was good.
Thank you. It was, but I'm not going to take credit for the blurring effect concept. That was done by one of the guys from Red Letter Media. If you're into movies at all, absolutely. And if you love just ripping on movies, go to Red Letter Media. They got their start by ripping on the first 3 Star Wars prequels. And they just destroyed them, right? And so
that was hard.
Yeah, like that. No, I mean they spent hours and hours and hours just breaking it down and basically saying that George Lucas is an absolute hack and should have never been involved in the Star Wars movies to begin with. And it was just brutal. But you got to watch it. But he had this one video again where he was talking about the Star Trek reboot, with Chris Pine, and he was going into how the blurring effect, which is basically, there's so much media out there that the only way you can get through to people, to get people to watch stuff, is to reference something that they know from previous experiences. That's the only way you can get their attention. Yeah. It's like having this massive crowd in front of you, right? With a velvet rope in front of them, and you're only letting people through that you recognize. That's like, oh yeah, that guy, he's my cousin's friend, or that guy, oh yeah, my sister's ex-husband, and stuff like that, because you want to recognize. There's just too much media out there, and it's true. Everything that has come out, and then he was talking about not to dwell on this, like he goes, forget about the fraudulent sequels that were made 20 years later for no reason at all. Like Clerks 2, and when he did that review, he forgot things like they remade The Road Warrior. For God's sakes, they if there's a nickel, they remade The Mummy. You know, Brendan Fraser did 3 Mummy movies, and all of a sudden, and Tom Cruise is pretty much the same age as them. Sorry, go ahead.
How many Spider-Mans have there been in the last 15 years?
Started on the frickin' Spider-Man.
You know?
That was because Sony Pictures decided to get into... Yeah, so Tobey Maguire does... I know this isn't Flat Earth, but I got to bring this up. Tobey Maguire, I'm a huge movie fan, and I used to own a comic book shop back in the day. Tobey Maguire does 3 Spider-Man movies under Sam Raimi, director. And then they decide to go in a different direction. They get Andrew Garfield for 2 more Spider-Man movies. And now they get a third guy who's done Spider-Man Homecoming and then done cameos in an Avengers and I think an Iron Man thing he's going to do. It's like, oh my God, they just can't stop. And let me end it on this. Sorry, I could talk about movies forever. Where
I know.
Since Star Wars has now sold out lock, stock, and barrel to Disney. A lot of people don't know that. George Lucas just signed it, and Disney gave him like Lucas needs more money. Just gave him a gigantic.
He kept the rights to the toys or something. He said, right?
Oh, whatever. It doesn't make any difference because
keep the rights to the toys. I know, like he needs another $1.
Yeah, he doesn't have any influence at all to any of the movies ever again. And that was their whole point. Basically, they always wanted him. Disney saw this as an opportunity. They're going, look, we're going to release a Star Wars movie pretty much every year now. Because we can. We're going to do a Han Solo thing. We're going to do a thing on young Princess Leia. We're going to redo the whole thing. We're just going to release a Star Wars movie every single year. And because people remember that stuff. And people, why not? It goes back. I'm sorry. The point I was getting at real quick. Sorry. I shouldn't apologize.
Sorry.
Which is I sound Canadian.
I get you going. I'm sorry.
Which is the point is that the reason why Flat Earth is resonating, the really, really big reason there is because people know what it is. It's recognizable. Love it or hate it, or you don't know all the details, you know the term, which is why I ended that video on when's the last time, and I don't think I've ever even had a time, when you bring up Flat Earth to somebody, that they just look at you like, what? You know, it's like, never heard of it. Never heard of it before in my life.
What is that?
Find me a term like that anywhere in the world that you can bring that up, because it's not necessarily history, it's not necessarily entertainment, it's not a historical figure, it's just a term, but everybody knows what it is and everybody has an opinion on it. That's how you get sucked into it.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how many alternate languages I'm finding it in. It's amazing. It's everywhere.
Yeah, you type in Flat Earth into Google and then translate it to whatever. So just type into Google, say English to German or English to French or English to Russian, and you type in Flat Earth and you let it convert to whatever that term is over there. Like, you know, Spanish is tierra plana.
Copy and paste to YouTube and see what happens. Copy and paste
to YouTube and see what happens. You'll get a whole nother group of videos that you won't be able to understand them. But they're in there,
right?
And you know, it's amazing. Pacific Rim, Indonesian, all the Pacific Rim languages. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And you know, being American, we're kind of American.
Floored by that.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go.
And I promise I'll get off the phone.
All right.
I have to ask. I forgot what was the date the first clue came out?
February 10th, 2015.
Day. It was February 10th, 2015, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the first Strange World show?
Oh, you could look that up.
I'm sure I can. I was thinking about it when I was getting on the phone before.
The very first Strange World show, I uploaded it. Well, it was April of 2015. So I mean, it's all you have to do is go into YouTube, go to Strange World 1, and see when I posted it.
No, that was more than enough info. I was just trying to figure out when
April of 2015. So yeah, we're coming up on 2 years. So.
And mine was August of 2015 was when I came across you. Okay, that's why I was just trying to figure this out.
I still remember the first time you called in, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I will tell you. I do remember telling you ruined my vacation This is all I could think about.
Rob Skiba now puts it in a
Very
slideshow where he puts April 15th, the day Mark Sargent ruined my life. He actually blames me in his presentations now. Yeah. Super great. Love that.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. I'm sorry. I don't want to take up any more time. I know everybody's trying to call in. I love it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before 2
pumping
seconds
the
before you go,
videos
April 25th, 2015.
Okay. April 25th, 2015. Okay. Right. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. You're the man.
All right, man.
Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.
And as soon as I did that, the person from Michigan hung up, and there's people calling my cell phone. Guys, my cell phone does not go to the show line. So people that are calling in from 201 and 203, that doesn't get routed through to the show. The show line is 213-233-3998 or 720-897-6111. Let's pick up Twin Cities, Minnesota first. 612, you're on the air of Strange World.
Oh, I didn't even get to think of what I wanted to say. Hey, Mark, this is Wes. Flat Earth News Talk, how you doing?
Wes, why do you keep calling?
I didn't even go through the spiel. Didn't even go through the script, and he still gave me a sigh. Very good.
I would have thought the restraining order would have been, more of a hint than most.
I throw them right in the garbage just like I do my taxes. So
nice.
Yeah.
I have a quote for you right now that just came in from the Peanut Gallery. It is, wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. And that is from Plato.
Okay, well, I'll throw this right back at him. Knowing something and not acting upon it is the same as not knowing it at all.
It's good.
I have to think about that one.
Interesting.
It just inspired me to call when I heard Mark talk about the Strange World when it started. And it kind of reminded me when I first called. Because I think you maybe had 2 or 3 shows under your belt with Jonathan from Jersey. And I'd start calling in every single, I think it was on Tuesdays, actually. It was either Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah, we switched days. I think it was Thursdays back then.
Yeah, it was Thursdays. And I remember, and I don't know if you remember it or not, but I had called you and told you about my cell phone issue.
Yeah.
Where it was, they were like canceling my service, my internet service on my phone because I was calling your show. I'm like, that's so.
Wow.
No, I never heard of such a thing.
That is weird.
And of course, Jonathan said, "That's a DOD." That's for sure.
Maybe. The DOD, Jonathan's skills were good enough that he could actually tell when the DOD was pinging us. And but most of the time they do that when the military guys called in, and he'd be like messaging me behind the scenes, going, "They're all over us, dude." And it's like, whatever. It's not like we're giving up. We're not giving up missile secrets. We're telling him how to disable missiles with a flashlight.
What did he have? Did he have a special program on his computer?
Yeah. He was very, very good with IT stuff. Very good.
It's like we're getting pinged.
Yep. Yeah, he could tell. He could tell who was pinging us, and when we had that first naval guy, that's when they started ramping up on us, and the missile instructor. And I don't blame them, to be honest. He's on a radio show.
Yeah, that was Sean.
It's like, why? And he was active Navy, and he was a missile trainer.
Yeah,
so
that was Sean. I think that was Sean.
Sean McClary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That proves to everybody I really was there from the beginning.
I never. Of course you were. You've been around.
Now there's people saying that I'm full of shit. But...
No, you've been there. Absolutely, you were there. You kidding? In fact, I remember some of your early podcasts when they were hijacked by apparently film students that wanted to do Blair Witch 3 and Blair Witch 4.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah, you think I'm joking?
Absolutely.
I am not. I'm watching your podcast. I'm going, all we have to do is add a horror soundtrack to it. We can sell this right now.
Well, if we were to combine some of Candy's stuff, we'd have it.
Oh, it's truly terrifying. Truly. So what else we got? We got about a minute or so until the last break. You got anything that you wanted to?
Yeah, we were gonna. Yeah, I'm the expert of nothingness, and we were going to talk about nothing, which I think we pretty much covered.
Wow,
so,
that's very enlightening. That's awesome. So are you at work right now, or you're not there at the moment?
Actually, I'm playing hooky for about 4 hours because I did not get enough sleep.
Oh, and so instead of having sleep, you're calling into the show.
Absolutely, right before I was ready to lay my head down. I figured if I don't do it now, I'm going to be haunted by that one dude. What's his name? Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery, whoever
what the hell? I thought you said you were
Nice. That's awesome. All right. Well, hey. It's been nice. Wait, hang on. He wants me to read one more quote before you go. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Also by Plato. That's my.
Yeah, well, that's probably very true.
Yeah. So that's my quote going for the break. Okay, guys. 213-233-3998. Last chance to call in before we call it a night. And Wes, hey, it's been nice talking to you.
All right, nice talking to you too. And saying hello to everybody out there.
Okay. See you, man.
Later, Dater.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. The Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. And yeah, that was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album, Night and Day. So, we're doing a call-in show. And I think we're going to have enough calls for the rest of the show. We'll see. We've got 2 that just came in from California. Let's pick up 510 area code. 510, you are on live with Strange World right now.
You got Pittsburgh, California.
Oh, Pittsburgh, California, the city that should not be. What's going on? Where sounds like you're in a car. Where are you driving?
Just got through doing my last route. Is it too hot?
Oh, cool. So what's on your mind? The what?
Oh no, I said is the call coming in too hot?
No, it's not too bad. You're sounds like you're a little distant, but that's okay. We can work with it. What's on your mind?
Oh, not much.
That's what you're gonna give me? Not much. That's it.
Yeah. Not much at all. Just wanted to make a quick call in. The video you mirrored a couple of days ago, the Oregon meetup presentation.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I know it's not for everybody. I mean, you got to really you really got to be dedicated, but just the amount of raw material, information, books that's out there, amazing, man.
I met that gentleman at one of D. Marble's meetups in South Seattle. and he's pretty dedicated. I did not even know until I got the video. I was like, oh wow! I did not know he was good. He was doing the presentation. I totally slipped my mind, and so good for him. I think he did a fine job, and it's good to have the heavy info people like that in there. It's yes. I don't know if I could have done something like that where I could have just rattled off all sorts of facts and figures. So good for him.
Oh yeah. I think he did a wonderful job. I like the shout outs that he gave between you, D Marble, and just as far as you guys, beating that steady drum and trying to stay away from all the the negative aspects and so on and so forth. Right. And I like how he took the same approach that you took, not trying to throw Eric DeBay under the bus, but just want to clarify some things, to put some things in perspective. And I thought that was very classy the way that he did it, and I thought it was well appreciated. But man, just the amount of books and stuff. Oh man, just like really, really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. So I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I have no doubt that his bookshelves are full, and he has access to a lot of other books, and he reads a tremendous amount, which is it's kind of a dying art nowadays. So good for him, and I'm glad he's on our side. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you got that right. Absolutely. But that's pretty much all I got. I guess I can share two little quick comments. I had two of my passengers on my bus that sits behind me. This one, known her for a better part of, I want to say about a year now. Mm-hmm. I asked her a simple question. I said, so what do you know about sea level? She was like, I pretty much understand sea level is supposed to be level. I said, okay. I said, so if you pour water in the cup, it's flat, right? She said, yeah. I said, if you put water up in a pool, levels out. I said, yeah. I said, if you're man-made or human-made pond, levels out. She's like, yeah. I said, let's go to the lake. Same thing, right? I said, but yet still when we get to the ocean, and they talk about sea level, but why is what we see in our reality is not conducive to the picture that we see that they give us?
Right.
And the first knee-jerk reaction she gave was because the earth is flat. Now I know she didn't. You know how you can say the very thing that you believe, but you don't believe what you're saying.
Right.
And because I proposed it as a brain teaser, and she said, "Yeah, you're about to have my brain hurting." And then also just told her to reference I told her to check out the Abyssal Plains and do a little bit of insight on that.
Right.
And then the other gentleman, he was in the Air Force for 6 years. So that's so cool that if everything goes to plan, you got an Air Force guy coming on.
Nice.
He's flown all over, and so I'm looking forward to that one. I hope it comes through so I can send that video to him because I pretty much to him, but one of the things I said to him was because you got to prime your audience who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I asked him was, I said, so by you being in the Air Force and having the opportunity to go across the world and so on and so forth and experiencing the things that you have experienced, do you think it's possible for a massive amount of people the population to be fooled, depending on how the government, decides to pitch a story? He said, yeah, absolutely. I said, okay, with that being a backdrop, I said the same thing to him, and just pretty much left it at that. And I told him that I have some information that I would love to share with him at a later date. So I'm really hoping that testimony show goes according to plan. And I'll definitely be sending that to him because
cool.
I told him even the other ones from the other particular military background, I want to send those too because it's nothing like having someone in your field who can talk that jargon and you know what they're talking about. Yeah, like the y'all and pitch and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that stuff resonates with individuals like that. So
I'm
looking forward to it.
As far as I know, it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, we'll see. But he was the one that said, "Oh yeah, can we do it a week from Tuesday?" It's like, all right, let's do it a week from Tuesday. And then I'm crossing my fingers. I may have a NASA guy finally lined up. A full-blown aerospace engineer that worked at Northrop Grumman and NASA, and cross my fingers. But I'm not going to get anyone's hopes up yet until I actually have them on the air. So
Gotta keep your poker face at all times.
Yep. Not gonna make that announcement. It's like, oh yeah, I got an ask it, but he's an older gentleman, and but he went to the hospital recently, and I was going, oh great, hopefully this doesn't turn into like a Joan Rivers type thing where he's like, oh yeah, let me talk about this stuff, and the next thing you know, I'm in the hospital, doesn't look too good, So
well, I'm going to send a special prayer out for that individual. How about that?
It's much appreciated. Anything else?
Most definitely. Oh no, I know we got some other calls on the line. Just going to tune back in, but I just must say, Tuesdays, man, this is the highlight of my nights, man. It sets the rest of the week off in a good way. So keep it flat and hopefully catch up with you a little bit later, Mark.
All right, man. You have a good one. See ya.
All right. Peace.
Bye-bye. All right, let's jump right to it. We still got 18 minutes left in the show. Let's jump over to 626. Yeah, let's try 626. 626, you're on live, A Strange World. What are we talking about? Should I care?
What's up, sir? How's it going, man?
Hey.
I don't know. If you. I think you might care about this. If I say the name Geno Smith, does it ring a bell at all?
Geno Smith, backup quarterback for the New York Jets. He was the one that broke Eli Manning's streak. Eli Manning, of course, who did win 2 Super Bowls, but really had been riding on his brother's coattails, Peyton Manning, who's going to be guaranteed in the Hall of Fame. But the reason why I am not a huge Eli Manning fan, no offense to people out in New York, is because he led the league in interceptions twice. And you still won't frickin' trade him. It's like, fine, he won you a Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl for you, okay? It was your offensive line. It was your defense. It was not Eli frickin' Manning. He's going to get into the Hall of Fame because he was a brother of... anyway. So, yes, Geno Smith. I know exactly who Geno Smith is, and I love the fact that he tweeted recently that he is on board with Kyrie Irving. I loved it. And he put himself out there. Let himself just get cracked in the head by the internet.
Did you catch what Sports Illustrated had to say about this?
Oh, if you got a quote for me, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, dude, they have like a 3, not even a 3-paragraph little article about it, dude. And it starts off with, there's a full-blown epidemic in the world of sport. A growing number of prominent athletes are lending credence to an absolutely nonsense theory that the earth is flat. The face of this hogwash is Celtics all-star Kyrie Irving. So he's the face of the sports hogwash of the flat earth.
He is right now.
All right.
Yeah. It is.
And it says that Kyrie It says that he's since been pretty wishy-washy about, and they actually said wishy-washy, by the way, about whether he actually believes it, and said it was a social experiment. But the best part is, where is it? This comes just after Tesla live streamed a vehicle in space that showed really, really clear images of the round Earth.
Yeah.
Doesn't it sound like they're talking to a bunch of middle schoolers?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the athletic crowd isn't exactly... And I used to be a hardcore fan. I know what you're saying. And
most of those athletes,
by the way, they're absolutely wrong. Kyrie has not even slowed down to where, you know, he was just in the All-Star game. What was it last week?
That's what I keep saying.
No, Kyrie isn't back down. In fact, there was a player. You saw that thing where that player brought the Globe to the media day and wanted him to sign it, and Kyrie said no. He goes, I'm not signing it on camera, and which meant he was not going to sign it.
I did not see it.
Oh yeah. It's one of my videos I put out there. Where in fact it's a Sports Center video where a player goes to the All-Star thing with a little metal globe and he's spinning it above everybody's head, and Kyrie tells him to put it down. Kyrie knows who this guy is. And he goes, "Will you sign it for me?" And he goes, can we do it off camera? Which is basically Kyrie blowing him off. And Kyrie, as far as I know, never did sign it. So, whatever.
You know, this says this comes just after Tesla live streamed if I'm not mistaken, Tesla didn't launch anything into space. SpaceX did, right?
Well, Tesla.
I mean, SpaceX launched Tesla.
And you're right. The media should have gotten that correct, where it was Tesla's car, but it was SpaceX's rocket, if you believe the story. Of course, we don't know any of that because remember, there's no logos on anything. There was no Tesla logo on the car. There was no SpaceX logo on the spacesuit guy. There was literally no corporate logos to be found. Conspicuously. What else you got? Because I want to.
But yeah,
a few more calls I got to grab. But yeah, Geno Smith's great, and even if he backs down, that's fine, because then they'll run. Even if he backpedals, they'll have to run a separate story for that. Sort of like when Shaquille was on. Remember, he was in it for like 7 to 10 days, and then when he started backpedaling on Jimmy Kimmel, then they had to run a whole other series of stories. And every time they do that, it just helps us. Because there's more people. It's like, hey, what about this flat Earth? All they have to do is type it into the search engine. It's like, wait a minute, there's a lot of people in this. So.
Exactly. But yeah, dude, this is really catching fire, man.
I know. And I'm glad that Geno did it during the off season, because then once training camp fires up, they'll start asking him about it, because it's the most interesting story that you could ever run on an athlete. Athletes, it's like, oh, how's your knees doing? How's your, what do you think the defense is going to be like this year? No. Geno Smith will be like, so tell us about the flat Earth thing. This thing, you wait till if he holds his ground until training camp, they're going to be all over him. So, anyhow.
Well, especially if people, yeah, dude, this is just going to keep growing, man. There's going to be more people coming out about this. We're already seeing it. It's only a couple months into the year, dude.
Yeah, well, let me end it on this, because I do want to pick up these calls before I go. The thing, remember what happened yesterday? PewDiePie. It's like, yeah, Geno Smith is one thing, but PewDiePie literally has 61 million subscribers. The biggest channel in YouTube, and he makes a video called Proof That the Earth is Flat. Doesn't matter if he backs it up with science or not. The title alone is worth it. You can't even put a price tag on it. So there's going to be the wave of kids that are going to going through that.
That's reaching a ton of people. That is reaching a ton of people right there. Whether he believes it or not, just the fact that he's got that in his title and made a video about it.
Yeah, and now
with that many subscribers.
Now he's at the top. When you type in Flat Earth in YouTube, he's at the top. He's gotten in one day, he's gotten 3.6 million hits. So we'll see where it goes from there. I think he's going to be up there for a while. But I could go off on PewDiePie. I don't want to do it right this second. But anyway, I gotta run, man.
All right, dude. No problem, dude. Let's wrap this up, man. I'll have another chance to talk to you at some other time, bro.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. I might even talk to you. Are you going to be on after the
show? Probably.
Okay. Well,
as a matter of fact, I got stuff I'm going to set up actually.
Okay. All right, man. But
guys.
I will talk to you soon. Okay. All right. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. All right, let's go to, we'll see how many more we can knock out. Let's do 914, area code 914. I think that's in New York. Start spreading the news. New York? New York, are you there?
Hey, I'm there. I'm here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get you off speaker here. I'm here, Mark. It's Chris from New York. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well. I've got a few minutes before I can go to the next call. What's happening on your end? What's going on? What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, everything. I just wanted to give a shout out to Zulu One out there. I want to say how in New York itself. I want to get your feedback on. Come on, we got to do SpaceX real quick. Okay.
Really? You want me to? Well, okay. What do you want me to tack on SpaceX? Let's
come on,
like the
really?
booster.
Okay,
the
all right. I'm sorry.
You like the boosters? You want me to attack the boosters? You want me to attack the impossible car? You want me to attack the finest example of misdirection in the history of space, which was landing the boosters and then cutting directly to the profile shot of the car with the Earth in the background without ever showing how the car got there? That's the part that.
Of course not. Yeah, that's a part that is a total. I mean, a disaster within itself too. But I want everybody to let everybody know that they're just not going anywhere. They're kicking this thing down the road, and it's just going to lead to nothing but disaster. I mean, it's led up to a point where now it's been the entire NASA program has been canceled. Somebody had to take it over and bury them.
Yeah.
And here he's come along. I mean, this has come along. SpaceX has come along, and then now they've taken over. And where are they going with this? We can't. I mean, they can't go anywhere. I mean,
they can't. And I think they were trying to use this as sort of an example, because remember now that we have real-time social media, you can see what the public thinks about it. You can get their opinion right then and there as they're watching it. You can collect data, and you're putting two inanimate objects, a car and the stupid mannequin together, and if no one's buying that, how in the world are you going to pull off sending minimum 5 people in a capsule around the moon and back? How are you going to pull that off with SpaceX?
Such a disaster. I mean,
you're never going to do it. You're never going to do it. I'm not kidding. If you followed my stuff at all, you would know that I said that if they approached me and offered me a dump truck full of money and said you have access to all the Hollywood producers and special effects people you want, I'd say
you wouldn't do it either.
No, I'd say go to hell. There's no way I'm going to do this, because all it takes is one guy to screw up. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Somebody screws up something with the telemetry. Somebody screws up a camera, but most of the time it's going to happen with the CGI, where something's going to be in not the right spot. And then remember, everything on the internet sticks. Somebody will catch it. They're going to post it up online. It's like, hey, look at this 5-second snippet of video. That doesn't make sense at all. Sort of like, here's a perfect example. Not to go off on a little rant here, because I do want to grab that call from Cleveland, but the sort of like I hate to bring it up, but I got to, the Parkland shooting, right? Everything was going according to plan. And then all of a sudden the student journalist, David Hogg, who had been on just about every network you could think of, doing his lines, somebody freaking leaked, either deliberately or somebody caught it, him doing the outtakes, where he's trying to rehearse his line. He's screwing up the lines. I'm going, oh yeah, he's screwing up he's screwing up on the outtakes. I'm going, wait, why does he have outtakes? And that resonated so much with people with social media that immediately when they did that town meeting and when they were meeting Rubio and the guy from the NRA, the lady from the NRA, do you notice who wasn't up on stage? David Hogg. He was not there. He should have been.
Of course he wasn't. Why wouldn't he not be there?
They couldn't be there. He could not be there because he had been catching so much flack at that point that all of a sudden, you saw those stories about crisis actors. How does this relate to anything? The point is all it took wasn't even a 30-second clip of him doing that thing where he was doing the outtakes, and that generated so much negativity in the social media world that they had to bury him. It's like, okay, you are not going to be talking to senators at this point, because nothing against him, he was doing his lines, but somebody filmed it and released it online. So that you do that, multiply that by a huge amount, because there'd be a lot more people watching the SpaceX moon launch whenever that decides to happen. So I'm sorry. Anyway, what else you got?
It would be a total disaster. Okay, absolutely no. Thank you for taking the call, Mark. Get on to Cleveland. All right, I appreciate you taking the call.
Thank you, and maybe talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, we'll grab the last call of the night. Probably going to be this one. This is going to be 216. Unless it's short. Somebody else can line up, but this might be it. 216 area code. Could you be the last call of the night? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out.
Yes. How you doing? All right. So I'm from Cleveland, from Maple Heights. Yes, I was giving a call. Great show. I was calling to ask what you guys think about the baseball, like how the World Series been in the last 2 or 3 years. It's like, I don't know, it's like the Indians been there. They should have won a couple times, and
I have an opinion on. I've got a rant on. Let me not limit it to the baseball. If we're talking about what conspiracy in sports.
Yeah, a little bit. Cause I always
wait a minute. Are we talking about conspiracies in sports in general? Or are you actually asking me my personal opinion about the Indians? Because this is
both. A little both.
Okay.
I know there's always something behind it.
All right. Well, yeah, when it comes to conspiracy in sports, think of it this way. We teach people to be competitive, especially in the United States. We teach people to be competitive to the point where you are competitive, you get away what you can get away with. Again, line from the Joker Batman. People are only as good as the system allows them to be. Meaning, and it doesn't matter. In football, they're using performance-enhancing drugs. Everybody knows, and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were guilty. Tom Brady was guilty as sin. If he wasn't, then his attorney wouldn't have told him to delete his entire cell phone, right? and before giving it to the people, and then the owner bought himself out. When it comes to baseball, 3 names I could throw out: Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. Oh, let's throw in Roger Clemens, who all of a sudden, he got really big and was throwing strikes in his late 30s. It's like, well, because he was taking steroids. Look at cycling. Lance Armstrong. Every year, and again, it comes down to the attorneys. Every year he was like, "You're cheating." He wins the tournament, and then he says, "Oh yeah, Pete Rose." Peanut Gallery just wrote in Pete Rose, but that was gambling. That wasn't even Lance Armstrong. Every year, I'm not guilty. Every year, I'm not guilty. And then 7 years later, when they had him dead to rights, he's like, "Yeah, I was lying the entire time." Boxing, we all know the old adage, where how many people throw a boxing fight. It's almost a cliche. I'm going to throw the fight. So when it comes to, we teach people this, but at the same time, let me see if I can boil it into a general sense for you real quick, because I know we're running out of time, which is, men in particular will do just about anything for money, power, or fame, or any mixture of the 3. Correct. And sports is the epitome of that. When you get into professional sports, look, these guys they're hyper competitive. What wouldn't you do to win a series? What wouldn't you do to get your bonus? What wouldn't you do to get that shoe contract? Right. And so it's just one aspect of our lives. It's also what happens. It happens in entertainment and politics and business as well. But in sports, nobody should be surprised.
More sports.
Yeah, sports, because that's what we teach kids to do. It's like, what are you willing to do to be a champion? Right. And it's like, yeah, you want to play fair, but I'll give you my quick thing, and then we'll fade out, which is, look, when did Peyton Manning have to, and Tom Brady, let's use that real quick. Did he have to deflate the balls? Turns out, no, he didn't. But it doesn't matter, because when you're really that good, you're super competitive anyway, and you're going to use that edge as an insurance. It makes you feel better. Maybe it's a placebo. Maybe it doesn't help you, but it doesn't matter, because if you can do it, you're going to do it. When I won that pinball tournament years and years ago, I didn't necessarily have to cheat to do it, but I won the tournament. But at the same time, it's insurance. That's all it is. And we got 15 seconds before we're going out. Any shout outs before we end the show?
I just want to thank you guys for, educating on the things. And I don't think the Warriors going to go to the finals this year. I think it might be the Cavs in Houston.
Maybe.
Because it's the greatest story. It's a great story.
I'd like to see Kyrie Irving, but that's for obvious reasons. So, hey, the music's going. Got to go, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.